start streaming with our music playing as we get our last little setups going. So, we are technically live.
Oh, are we?
Oh, yes, we are.
Yep.
All right, we good to go?
Yeah.
Oh, now I just want Pringles. All right.
No.
Up,
Well,
everyone?
no. Wait till the music stops. Haha.
I can't hear the music. We're having technical difficulties, Pringles, man.
I'll point at you, okay?
No, it's rude, and I don't agree with it.
But do you like it?
I do kind of like it though.
My brother's so good. Oh, it's in there.
All right, what's up, everybody? Guy here with Total Geek Live, and with me is the Baltimore, the Danny, and the Kaiser, in that specific order. Anything else would be wrong. So there you go. All right, so we are live again for our September edition of Total Geek Live, and we've had all sorts of exciting stuff go on this last month. Let's see, our first overall theme, we've been talking about Saturday morning cartoons for some cereal bowl eating good times and talking about our personal favorites. Some are going hardcore, like Mr. Baltimore here, and bringing out the vintage Smurf bowls.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We had a really nice cereal bowl there.
Choose to grow up and eat adult cereals, unlike Kaiser.
Like Captain Muslix over there.
Oh.
So I gotta ask, for the sake of people who've seen it, was that your vintage original bowl from back in the day?
Yeah. Yep. Original one.
Awesome.
Worked because of whatever.
Kaiser, you saw that post?
Yeah. Y'all keep talking. I'm about to make some magic happen.
Lopsided surrealist art bowl, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been talking all about Saturday morning cartoons, so you can definitely see some of our personal favorites and some of our not so personal favorites. I'm looking at you, Turbo Teen. You know what you did. So, man, it's something else. And then, of course, we continued our new series, Totally 19XX, with Transformers the movie, because how can you go wrong with that? And also under 19XX, we totally did our Saturday morning cartoon video, which just dropped earlier this week. So you haven't checked it out, definitely see what's going on. We've got a bunch of personal favorites, and then of course shout outs to everyone who was kind enough to share some of their personal blasts from the past. We've also been talking about a lot of great stuff. If you haven't checked out our website, we've been talking about everything from events like FlameCon and Force Friday, a bunch of comics, cult movies like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
That's not a cult I'm in.
That's not a cult. Come on now. Come on.
Come on.
Let's see. We've been talking about games like Sonic Mania. Mr. Kaiser and I teamed up on a review for that, as well as Supercharged Bull Kaiser. Gee, I wonder why you used that.
I love games with my name in it. If I see my name in a game, it's like I gotta play it.
I can buy that.
There is
challenge accepted.
Find me a game with my name, and I'll play it.
If you have to make a game, let's test this. Make it horrifying. Make it like the most unplayable game ever, and let's put this man to the challenge.
What happened to Baby John?
Ooh. I don't know. Did Baby John always have the beard, though?
Got it.
I feel like this is a riddle. I feel like I'm waiting for a punchline.
I got the what happened to Baby Jane reference there.
Thank you.
I got it.
Oh, I totally got it. I totally got it. It's all good.
I didn't. I totally missed that.
Yeti!
Sorry.
And of course, we've done some trailer trashing. One of our more popular for those that see us, is the Star Trek Discovery versus the Orville. So, two sci-fi shows come in, only one leaves. So we're going to have to talk about that a little bit later, I think.
And spoiler alert, I believe the Tick won out of those two.
I remember correctly on last count, it was 2 Orville's, 1 Discovery, and 1 The Tick. Danny. Are you still on Team Tick?
No, I'm on Team Orville now.
Okay.
Right on.
I'm all caught up. I've watched the 3 episodes that are out, and it's great writing. That's the thing that's gotten me about that show. Is the writing is so good. The storylines are so good. Thought-provoking stuff, which I did not expect from what the trailers all told us. It was going to be a comedy on Fox.
No.
Well, I had a little bit of confidence just because Seth MacFarlane worked on the updated Cosmos that they released a couple years back with Neil deGrasse Tyson, because he's like a big science space fan. So I kind of had hope that, he'd get past all the present day jokes and kind of put some good stuff out there. And so far so good. And the next episode drops tomorrow, so let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I have to say I only saw the pilot for Orville. I haven't seen the other ones that have dropped. And I will say, to Danny's credit, that if he's kind of switched and kind of felt a little bit better about the Orville, I think I'll give it a try. But after the first one, I wasn't really feeling it. Every time I watch Seth MacFarlane, I feel like the next frame he's going to bust out laughing, and that is annoying to me.
Right.
I feel like he's not really committed. He's like, I'm serious.
So you're not a Jimmy Fallon fan then?
Yeah. So the Jimmy Fallon, I'm kind of right there in the same thing. I mean, I like some of the things that Jimmy Fallon does, and then sometimes that whole, I'm gonna laugh because I know what's coming up or whatever. I don't. But what I liked about especially episode 2 and 3 is that it's not always Seth MacFarlane on the camera. So they are bringing out the other people on the show and doing character development with them, and that's very, very refreshing. That it doesn't feel like there's a really true star of the show. It's kind of an ensemble
the crew. Yeah, the crew is the star.
The crew.
Well, that's refreshing to hear.
Yeah. And real quick, Jamie Faye says that he is loving Star Trek Discovery.
I will be too once I watch it. I have to watch the first episode, and I know the second episode's on CBS All Access, which I'm kind of mad about because I feel like they're dooming the show.
They're rolling the
CBS All Access malarkey.
They're rolling the dice. They're trying to
support, by the way.
Yeah, nice malarkey.
Yeah, but why
malarkey.
roll the dice on a new Star Trek? I mean, that's so. I don't know. It's so risky.
Because it's a given that there will be people that will buy in.
Yeah, I mean, and they noted that it was up like 50,000 subscribers just to watch the Star Trek Discovery. And thank you, Jamie. I will.
Yeah, Jamie says you can have his password, B.
But I feel like they're just putting Star Trek Discovery out there so they can compete with Netflix and Hulu and all that to kind of have their own free service. But it's CBS, ABC, NBC. That's supposed to be the free channels. That's supposed to be the content,
right?
No matter what. And this feels very shady. It feels very highway robbery, and I don't like it. I really don't like it.
It's just CBS looked and saw how people are consuming content now. Everybody's paying for apps and individual services, and they're the first ones to jump up. It's like, you know what, this is what's going on, so we're gonna be the first of the major networks to go that route. They saw,
especially with the flagship series like Star Trek.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Jamie says that if you like the Borg episodes of any of the Star Trek series, then you're gonna love these first 2 episodes of Discovery.
Well, that bodes well.
I did see the first 2 episodes. I certainly wanted to give it a chance. Some of the concerns I expressed in our trailer trashing, I did see realized. They've kind of worked themselves into some interesting places. So
They put themselves in a box.
yeah, they absolutely put them, and you shouldn't put them in a box.
No.
No.
You shouldn't do that.
Be in a box.
But you know, they it's like this all fits into continuity. I'm not seeing it, but I'm willing to give it a chance just because I like Star Trek. You know, it wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it, but you know, it's like we spent 2 episodes getting to know like a whole bunch of people, and we haven't gotten to the story yet. It's a you know, a prelude into this, so it's like we haven't started it yet. I don't feel like, and I'm ready to start it.
So you're saying there's still a lot left to discover?
Wah, wah.
Yeah!
Put on
1
sunglasses.
So we know how they abbreviate all the other Star Trek. So you have TNG for the Next Generation.
I never
Go
thought
for
of
it.
I didn't see this.
Go.
Abbreviate this one to be
Just say it.
Herpes
Is it-
simplex 2.
STD.
It's
Is
STD.
STD.
Oh my God! Somebody on marketing completely lost their job right now. As soon as
Why?
if this isn't, they're not watching it now. But everybody share this with everybody they know, so that somebody at CBS.
Share it.
Can you imagine how awkward that conversation is when you're public? Hey, have you watched STD? No, I generally prefer not to. I generally kind of keep my bases covered.
Right?
Dude, I love STD.
You don't want to be put in that box.
No, that is a box you want to avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
Do you have STD? Check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love puns too. I love some puns.
Let's see STD. Oh no. Oh, but of course, I also forgot to talk about our new series that debuted this month, TGL Talks.
Wah, wah.
Oh, that's
So
right.
we got we've had 2 fantastic interviews. For those of you who are all into the mystery and intrigue of Twin Peaks, you know, we had Peter Macklin, who was so gracious enough to join us and launch off our new premiere show. Actually, that would be TGLT, so it doesn't sound like a venereal disease. Yay, us! Yay! For thinking ahead. But
Wait, don't we want to go viral?
Not in that way.
it's just love, baby. It's just love.
Hold still.
But so you know, it's like we've gotten all this, you know, all this backstory and all this. We're gonna definitely have to touch base with Peter again and see, you know, what he thought after the fact. So you know, we'll definitely have to do that.
That was a fun one.
Oh, absolutely. And then of course we had Miss Carrie Hoskins from Mortal Kombat, Sonya Blade herself. Just as kind of a reminder. From our show that we did with her, she wrapped up Combat Con this last weekend out in Countryside, Illinois, and now I want some lemonade. But so I did see some pictures. I haven't really had a chance to like talk to her too terribly much about all the behind the scenes, but you know, of course, you know, I've got a couple friends, you know, in that scene. I did notice something weird, like when the photos, it's like they had all these cool little like MK statues that I guess they gave all the actors and actresses, but they had a nice table displaying them, like this one picture, and I didn't see like a statue for Carrie's version of Sonya. I mean, they had one for like the original Sonya, I believe her name's like Elizabeth Malecki. They had one for her, but I didn't see one for Carrie's version, and you know, it's one of those things, it's like I would hate to think they overlooked her when she's basically has been like the face of Sonya Blade for like the last 20 years. So Combat Con, what's up with that? You know, where's Carrie's statue, especially with all the live show and you know, all the promos, and still obviously giving interviews as you know, evidenced by us. So I don't know. That was kind of bummed out. I didn't see a little statue for her because they were all like in their win poses and everything. So I don't know.
Oh. That's
Very,
no
very,
bueno.
very.
No bueno indeed.
So can we also talk about the TGL talks that is going to air eventually. I mean, we recorded it.
Oh yeah,
got
it's
another
recorded.
Promo.
Yeah, we could tease it. Danny,
You can tease it.
you're the new big fan, so you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm like the new big fanboy, but you know, he's your buddy.
Yeah. Didn't you
I'm
get,
just
like,
a
your name
fanboy.
tattooed on your chest or something, Danny?
No tattoos, nothing.
No
Nothing
TW.
like that. I just really like his art.
Yeah, so a good friend of mine was gracious enough to sit down for our next episode, which is in the middle of being edited right now. His name is Tony Washington. He is an amazing artist. He has done everything from movies to comic books to video games, and that's where I know him from. As we worked on at Midway together, we were working on the Justice League project I've mentioned a few times, and he's done so much. He's done a VR project with Mixmaster Mike called Magma Chamber that you can check out. He did the coloring on the Doomfist Overwatch comic that just dropped, and the animated motion comic version of it. He's worked on TMNT. He's done covers for. We can sit here and just list off everything he's worked on. All these great IPs that he's worked on just for the rest of this show. But tune in when we post it. Check it.
It'll be in October.
It'll be in October.
Right.
Just make sure you're following us at Facebook Live, not Facebook Live, Facebook.com/Total
Refresh.
Definitely tune in, guys, because I mean, he is an incredible artist that I had seen some of his work and not realized that was him. And it's great to really put a face to the artwork, and he's just absolutely amazing. And he's got a lot of really cool things in the works. So definitely want to check out the video.
Very kind and very.
Oh, absolutely. He's an amazing guy.
Super modest guy.
Oh yeah. And a former Midway alumni along with Kaiser and myself, so a little reunion. Not gonna cry.
Yep.
Not gonna cry.
I already shed my tears.
Got all misty-eyed. Okay, so we've talked about everything that we've done this month. We've personally done this month. Let's talk about other things going on and what's coming next month as well. Who wants to share some of those news bombs?
I want to share real quick. Today is Comic Book Day, and I went and got my weekly pull, and then I saw this bad boy, and this has to be the greatest team up. I haven't read it yet, but I already know it's going to blow my mind. This has to be the greatest team up that's ever occurred. It is Big Trouble in Little
meets Dolph Lundgren.
Kinda. It's Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from New York. So you have Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken, and Kurt Russell's Jack from the Big Trouble series teaming up. I mean, look at that. How awesome is this? I'm hoping they do a follow-up where they team up to take on Ego the Living Planet.
Oh.
And Tango and Cash.
And Tango and Cash.
I feel like some internet rule is broken with that cover.
It is so amazing. I love it so much. I had to buy it.
There's now a hole in the space-time continuum because of that cover.
Right.
It's too real, man. Too real.
And other than that, been working on Total Geek stuff and playing Fractured State. We've got a new update that's going to be coming out here soon. We're just wrapping up some bugs before the next update comes out. But a lot of cool new stuff coming to the game. Fractured State, if you don't know. What about Overboard? Oh, God.
Yeah. Jamie says, what about Overboard?
Yes.
And Big Trouble in Little China is awesome. That is a really fun movie. You'll have to tell me how you like that one, and I'll see. Where do you who published that one?
This is published by
Boom
Shakalaka.
Ah,
It's a
Boom.
Boom Studios.
Boom Studios. Okay.
And
Check
John
that out.
Carpenter, the man behind both of these, just says,
Right.
"I'm loving it, just loving it."
Wow.
Oh, I didn't
Barely
realize
love
Carpenter was behind both of those properties.
Yes, John Carpenter is the man behind both Escape and Big Trouble.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Very
He's not just a Halloween guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess since we're talking a little bit about Wednesday hauls, I think we can go ahead and say, another certain title dropped today. That would be Marvel Legacy.
Oh,
This Marvel
this
Legacy.
Marvel Legacy?
Yeah.
How can the
I got
same
the
comic
scratch
be in 3
first.
frames?
Yeah,
Oh my
I thought there was
God.
only one.
It's because they have a fold-outs. That's how they fit it in all 3 frames.
Well, it's because you showed a
Oh.
cover with 2 Kurt Russells, and at that point the universe broke. So anything's possible.
It's
Laws don't exist, folks. Just go nuts in the streets. It's cool.
Yeah. But the version I picked up is the. Can you hear it? The scratchy.
Yeah, it's the scratchy kind.
Yeah, so it feels like very 90s.
It's
So
a-
it is like Marvel
Nice.
Legacy.
It's a squeaky toy.
It is. But yeah, so it's a interesting and fun little comic there. There are some returns.
I think the AOL's broken.
There's some returns that are in the book to the Marvel world, and a lot of the variant. Yes. And then a lot of setup for the next phase of Marvel storytelling. So looking forward to what happens next on these.
I'm optimistic about it as well.
Yeah. It feels hopeful. Like, yeah, I think optimistic is a good feeling about this, especially after everything with Secret Empire and all that kind of happening stuff.
Guy, real quick, did you accidentally pull your headphone jack out or anything?
I did just for a second because I was getting some weird static when I was talking.
Yeah, we were getting some
Yeah.
weird audio there.
I was like,
It seems like it goes away. It's like we kind of all hung out by the ocean all of a sudden. So
it was
I thought-
nice.
I thought there was a CB radio.
Right.
Breaker Breaker 190. Breaker Breaker.
10-4, good buddy.
It was like
There's a rubber duck.
the
I
movie
have a chimpanzee
Frequency.
as a truck partner now. But yeah, the Marvel Legacy looks really good. I mean, they've reintroduced some popular favorites, which they've definitely put aside for far too long.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes in line with the DC Rebirth that they did a couple years back, or was it just last year?
Just recently.
Just last year. Okay, I wanted to make sure because I felt like 2015 for some reason, but
Yeah, it was New 52 and then Rebirth.
yeah.
So
But that was a good one. And then it's like if Marvel Legacy is going to kind of go for that more optimistic hero-based kind of getting back to basics, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I thought was super cool about Marvel Legacy, Jason Aaron is writing it, and for those who don't know Jason Aaron, he did the main series for Marvel Star Wars, and he did that series
That's right,
so
yeah.
well. He really caught the tone of like the old, original trilogy movies. So I saw him and was like, ooh, this gets even better.
Yeah. He's actually been a very I feel like an unsung hero of the Marvel writing staff team, whatever you want to call them, because he can deliver a lot of varied titles. He did Thor for a long time. He did Wolverine and the X-Men. He did. I feel like he did Ghost Rider. I know he did Wolverine too. So I think he's had a lot of kind of different styles that he's excelled at. So I have a lot of faith in Jason Aaron. So.
And guys, Jamie says, I'm so happy they brought Maggot back. The X-Men really need him. Just kidding. So I don't know if that's a spoiler, but...
Yeah, that's a big spoiler.
Thanks, Jamie. God.
Yes.
Jazz
I think I
hands.
was done.
Oh, okay. We were all just
I was
waiting with
speaking
bated
and
breath.
just,
See us shiver with Antissa.
Nation.
So what have you been up to, Danny?
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. This wristband that I'm wearing,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of what I've been doing this week. Helping my aunt out. She manages a property, and there's a big event going on this week, and so we've been getting ready for that. So I've been helping out, working, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's just been absolutely crazy. And
I imagine it would be.
yeah, it's pretty amazing to see all the they've got a whole event thing going, a company coming in to put the event on and all this kind of stuff. So it's just wild. But I got to work on some old timey arcade games and stuff and fix them up and get them all nice and ready. So that was a lot of fun. I'll always like doing that kind of stuff. Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Jamie,
where's all of our fried
wanted
cheese?
some of my fried cheese, huh? Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't bring any. I mean, I haven't even made cheese on a stick since I did that video.
Since the incident.
Yes, since the incident when I dropped the cheese on the floor and John Kaiser's space-time continuum thing, because of the comic book now, caused it to go into this black hole, and my cheese on the stick was lost forever, and it was very, very sad times. But,
sadness.
And I would have, but apparently one of the main ingredients was very scarce here in Corsicana. It was empty shells of where what was the ingredient?
It's Krusteaz. It's a particular brand of pancake batter mix, right. Krusteaz. Yeah, and evidently the town of Corsicana started running out of said pancake mix after the video went live.
Coincidence?
I don't know what to tell you, man. Either people like pancakes, or maybe there were a lot of people making cheese on the stick. I don't know.
I think nostalgia kicked in, and they were like, "I got to give me some cheese on a stick."
Yeah, and it is really good to use that particular pancake mix, that particular brand. It's really, really, really good. Heck, I use it for just pancakes. It's really good. So
you brought hope to those who had none, Danny. Good job.
Oh, thank you very much. I try.
Good job.
I try. Well, hopefully you will too when you do your video.
Oh yeah, I've got a Corsicana delicacy lined up, and as a matter of fact, someone else does as well. Then
yes,
we got things happening.
Baltimore's going to do one too.
Yeah.
We got stuff happening, but not all at once, because that's weird.
That's right. We got to pace ourselves.
Yeah.
So let's see what other big geek news has been going on. Well, I suppose we should talk about what's been going on with Toys R Us, because that's a geek mainstay.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are going, the sky's falling, Toys R Us is going to be gone, when in actuality they're probably just going to restructure their debt, close a few stores, but not completely vanish. But just the thought of there no longer being a Toys R Us, like if they don't get their crap together, that they could no longer exist, and it seems unreal to think of a world without Jeffrey the Giraffe. And
right.
Yeah.
How weird is that, though? I mean, just even thinking about it, like, what was like one of your earliest Toys R Us memories? Where was like your first Toys R Us?
I never got to go to Toys R Us. My parents said they were always closed when we drove by.
Wow.
Actually, I never went to Toys R Us until I was at SMU, Danny.
What?
Wow, really?
You poor soul.
Oh, man, when we would go to the one up on Walnut Hill?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the very one I went to.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But they have bikes and trains and video games.
It's the only toy store there is.
I know. It is a damn tragedy. It's awful, and I know that we used to have a huge Toys R Us store here in Manhattan in Times Square, and they closed that down. and then the other Toys R Us that they did have in Union Square got switched over to a Babies R Us, and I don't even know if that's still here. But Jamie's saying that
how crazy!
Yeah, Jamie's saying that they're going to open up one where the Gap used to be.
Which Gap?
Well, if there's a Gap, just slide a Toys R Us in it.
Sounds
God.
good. Ah, okay.
He says they got signage up when he walked past last time, about a week or so ago.
Like the south side of Times R Us?
Times R Us.
There's hope.
We are the Times.
It really saddened me when I heard that they were closing the Times Square thing, because, I mean, that was multi-story, like 3 or 4 story toy store, and it was so iconic, so cool. They had little stations you could go into and play around with stuff, and they had the big Ferris wheel on there, and I remember seeing Captain America's shield in there one time, and it's so sad that that's gone.
Yeah, it really is.
But I mean, I'm hoping they get their act together. I don't know my first Toys R Us experience, but I do remember one of those. Man, if I just at the time had a few $100s, I was in Lafayette, Louisiana, on a road trip with some of my friends, and we stopped at a Toys R Us, and they had Star Wars figures from this was back in the 80s. They had just shelves of them, and they were on sale.
Oh.
And I wanted to because they had like the little clearance tag on it or whatever. It was all in one area, stickers. And I wanted to those orange stickers. I just wanted to go and just start throwing them all in a cart and all that. And I'm like, I did not have the funds. And just to think what those things would be worth now.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Oh, I mean, I can see it to this day. What that whole shelf looked like and everything. And oh, man. Oh, I could just wish I could go back in time and go, here, kid, here. Go buy.
Go crazy, go nuts.
Which I might be able to do now because of Kaiser's time continuum comic book thing.
Laws of physics are done, man. Go crazy. It's happening now. Everything is happening at once. It's like Dr. Manhattan level business now.
Right.
So what about you, Kaiser?
I'm trying to think. My earliest memories, I believe, is either a Toys R Us in like Simi Valley or in San Dimas.
San Dimas rules.
San Dimas high school football rules. But I don't really have it's just like this cloud of like happiness. I don't have like a distinct memory of it other than like that's Toys R Us. I want to go there. And once I was in there, it's like
it's crazy. All the things.
But I did love always going. I always loved you get in the video game aisle, you sit there and you flip up every little tag because they didn't have the boxes, they had the little placards
and the slips.
Yeah,
and the slips.
And if the slip was gone, no game.
Yep.
But I just sit there. I'd spend half my time in Toys R Us just looking at all the games and reading the backs of them, and that's where I got my first NES, and I got Kung Fu, and
bless you.
TNC? Not TNC.
Surf Designs.
Surf Designs, yes. Those were my first 2 NES games.
Nice.
Ooh.
And I didn't get the system that had Mario, so those were my only 2 NES games.
Yeah, so you got the basic set.
Oh yeah, so basic.
It wasn't the action set.
Kaiser's so basic.
So basic.
Mine was easy to remember just because like my mom and dad took me to the same one all the time growing up whenever we do our Dallas trips. It was the one in Mesquite, Texas, right next to Townies Mall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's the one that we would always go to. And then I remember when they built the one, over there by North Park, we go there later. But yeah, it's like, I go there for everything, and I have memories of like Star Wars and Masters of the Universe and Atari 2600 and Genesis and NES, and because it was like set up like a big warehouse like back then. It wasn't the fashion boutique that it is now. And yeah, it was like this little personalized slice of heaven just for me when I was a kid, and it was always so exciting. The last time I was in Texas over the summer, I actually did make it a point to go over there when I was driving back.
Oh, cool.
It was cool, and I remember because I got Street Fighter 2 for the Switch as I was leaving. So I kind of got like a little legacy thing the last time I was there because it came out that morning.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
which location did you go to?
Townie Mall, over the one by Townie Mall.
The one in Mesquite. Yeah. Okay.
It's still there, yeah. I mean,
I hear stories that one's haunted.
I've heard that.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard. I think you could even Google it, maybe. Yeah, I've heard stories that particular Toys R Us is haunted.
The great Furby tramplings were real back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Those Cabbage Patch dolls and people running to get them and just trampling over.
Yeah, the trampled deaths that happen. Yeah.
People are vicious, dude. I mean, that stuff. And now, I mean, it's like, as I said, I hate admitting it, because I mean, I still like going to Toys R Us. I like to pick up a game. I mean, there's one down the street from me now. So like, I'll pick up a game or like some little exclusive, because they always do exclusive items over there. But most kids play with tablets now. I hate that like everything, but I mean, that's just an unfortunate truth. The people who collect physical toys.
But you can't do this. You can't do this with the tablet.
Exactly.
That's right.
Right? Tablet that.
I mean,
our new catchphrase.
Yeah, I know. It's sad that it's taking away a lot of kids' imagination.
Yeah.
With being able to play with toys and have adventures and that kind of stuff.
And even video games are going digital. So I mean, you know, what's the point of having a video game area if you just, I guess you just buy the system or an amiibo or something and call it a day.
Right.
So it's a hard sell. I mean, just a lot of physical retailers are just having problems right now. And I hope Toys R Us stays. I mean, even if kids aren't into like physical toys like they used to, it's still cool to hang out in. I mean, at least check it out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll probably be much a more boutique style. You know, I think that's what they're going to have to revert to. I just don't think they can compete, you know, online or whatever. You know, like Best Buy is kind of dying. You know, Circuit City was dead. You know, like those big box stores are just, they can't, you know, Borders, Barnes & Noble, you know, all of them are suffering greatly. And I think Toys R Us is, you know, the next one to kind of really be challenged.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll just turn it into a giant store with one table in the center of the store, and they'll just call it the T, like they would in Vegas or something like that. It's like you just walk, there's like one table, you have to walk like half a mile just to get to this stupid table.
They're going to just change the name to Toys We Were.
So John Dillon wants advice whether to would you guys get the PS4 Pro or the new Xbox that's coming out?
The Xbox One X.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Unless you have a fancy TV, you really don't need the high-end ones. I mean, standard PS4 and Xbox One work just fine, but unless you have one of those fancy 4K televisions, there's really no reason.
Yeah, it's because they're 4K friendly and VR friendly is what it is. So unless you plan on buying the PS4 Pro and the VR headset and you have a 4K TV, you don't really need it. Same with the Xbox One X.
Right, that's what my understanding is like these two particular systems are kind of a half upgrade.
Yeah. Like
it's just a half step up.
Yeah.
That we're really not seeing what the next true gaming system's going to be for quite a while.
I don't. Yeah, it should be a while because I just saw a trailer for the new Battlefront 2 today, and it looks so amazing. You know, the gameplay footage. I'm like, where do we even go from here? You know,
right?
It's like, why do we even need a new system other than more memory? Because everything's digital downloads now, and you fill up your hard drive like that.
Yeah.
And by the time you do get a new TV, PlayStation 5 and Xbox, some more will come out, or whatever they're going to call the new system, I'm sure. So yeah, I'd probably just get the standard PS4, Xbox One, and it should be good, I would think.
So would you prefer to get the PS or the Xbox?
Well, I guess, that all boils down to, do you want to play the new God of War or the next, what was the chainsaw gun, Gears of War? Are you a Gears of War or a God of War? Is basically what it boils down to, because it's really just the exclusives at this point.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And you really have to kind of go over the list of those, because there's a finite list of exclusives. Everything else is going to be on both systems. So you just really need to focus on the exclusives. See if there's anything there that you're really wanting to try out.
Lean one way or the other.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something like Marvel versus Capcom or Injustice, you could get either, and it'd be just fine.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then just have a preference for what system you want, right?
Exactly.
Now, if you want to play with myself or Chapman, we have PS4s.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, you're an X-Bone guy, aren't you?
Yep. I've always been an Xbox guy.
So y'all can play together?
Yeah, Guy and I can. Danny and I cannot.
Oh.
Yeah. Tis the way. So you must choose a side. Our side has candy.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been playing more PC games lately anyways.
Same here, mostly, so.
In fact, I just checked out, guys. There's a new game that's coming out. It's going to be free to play next year, but right now they're doing. I think you pay like $30 or whatever for early access. But yesterday they launched for free a 100-player battle royale, and the game's called Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite!
Yes. Really awesome graphics. The gameplay looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. That's something that I like all four of us to play when the free-to-play version comes out next year, because we can all four co-op, team up, and build kind of our base before the zombies attack. I think it's zombies attack. Right now,
most games are.
It's right. Right now, it's the battle royale. You're floating in this bus, a blue bus that's like all rickety and it's got stuff on it and all that, but it's flying in the air for whatever reason, and it flies over this island, and then you got to jump out of it, and you can skydive down, and then at a certain point, you can say, I want to put my glider on, or at a certain level, it lets the glider automatically comes out, and then you're landing, and you've got to go and find whatever you can on the island to arm up. The interesting gameplay of it is that, and this is much like another game that's out right now, everybody's calling it PUBG, where the area constricts.
Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
Yeah, Player Unknown Battlegrounds. Yeah. Fortnite's doing kind of a similar thing with this. It's a special event, Battle Royale. So the island, eventually the zone will keep constricting in certain periods, so that, if you're in the outbounds, you only have a certain amount of time to get back into the inbounds before you die. And so it forces everybody to, you may be on the outskirts at the start, but you kind of need to get into the action. It kind of forces you along. So it's a pretty interesting little, interesting little gameplay there. And the graphics are amazing. I was really happy to check it out.
Yeah, that's by Epic, the guys who did Gears of War, right?
Yes, that's right.
The Unreal guys.
Exactly. Right. So we'll probably move on to some other subjects, but I did have one last question about that bus that you're talking about. Is Miss Frizzle on it, or?
Yeah, she's at the front. She's driving it.
Cool. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure she's got a hot seat on that bus.
Oh yeah, she's right there. She's driving and she got it going on.
I don't
All
want to
right.
hear anything about Mrs. Frizzle's hot seat. That's
But
No
she's got
internet
one.
fiction. All right, moving on. Moving on. So, New York Comic Con's coming up, and our Baltimore is going to that.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So is it next week? Next
It
week?
is next week. It's next Thursday through Sunday.
Wow.
Are you going to be live streaming it to the Total Geek Live fans?
I certainly should be.
Much thought was put
The
into
internet's
this.
all tricky and wiki and those places.
Wiki and
As long as it works, I will.
Right.
Right.
But really awesome thing is I am honored to be selected to be a part of the New York Times LGBT and Allies Affinity Network Times Out, their 4th annual queer culture panel. I'll be joining 5 other artists on that panel, and it's going to be Friday evening at 6:30, I believe it is. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sure.
And it's going to be so much fun. So
That's awesome.
it'd be really cool. I'm really excited about it.
Now, you said a lot of words really, really fast all together.
I
he's excited.
Yes.
God, let him have his moment.
I want
What's
him
wrong with you?
I want him to have his moment again because I missed half of what he said. It's a-
We moved on.
We can post it in the comments.
There you
We
go.
moved on. Live in the now.
So
But that is
next
so awesome.
Friday-
That is so awesome.
Yeah, next Friday at 6:30, I'm going to be a part of the queer culture panel that the New York Times is presenting at New York Comic Con.
Okay.
I'm going to be a speaker, a panelist there with 5 other artists. So it's going to be so much fun. I've never been on a panel before, so I'm going to be a little nervously excited, but I have a lot of things I want to talk about, so I hope that it's going to be a really exciting experience. And then I get to go and wander around and see all the fun stuff and pick some cool things up, man.
Yeah.
I've got to talk to you offline about a few convention exclusives.
I know, there's some, right?
There's 2 Funko Pops I want. That's all I'm saying.
You and your Funko Pops.
I don't know, man. That just sort of happened. Damn things. Stupid things. I'll just get
You know-
one. Eight later. What's wrong with my life? I have no control.
It just sort of happens, and then you have like a whole wall of these that just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can't find mine. But I'm the same way. It's like every time I'm like, oh, I want to get a Funko Pop, and then I'm like, oh, better not, because that's a deep hole that we just like giving them all.
I'm done. I'm off the horse. Mystery Science Theater, Mortal Kombat, Tron. Damn it! So yeah, that's my private hill right now.
And they had Mega Man ones, and I have withheld. I have abstained. I was like, no, I'm not just gonna get one because as soon as I buy one, damn it, well,
That's the thing.
Now and forever will it dominate
That's
your
where they
destiny.
get you.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
The dark side of collectibles.
no, I'm just gonna get Mega Man. Oh, but he needs Rush. Well, damn it, now I need to get Dr. Light. Damn, I need Dr. Wily now.
Yep. And it keeps going and going and
Yeah.
going and
Yeah.
going.
So I didn't.
It's just like
I am proud of myself. I didn't even start that.
one of us. One of us.
No.
Gooble gobble, gooble gobble, one of us, one of us. Gooble gobble, gooble
Yeah.
gobble.
So we'll be wrapping up our live show, but of course we have to talk about a preview for October because October is probably going to be one of our craziest months yet.
It's gonna be good.
Because
What?
on October we're going to be celebrating Geek-O-Ween
Oh yes!
right after. So Geek-O-Ween is a thing. Walk it off. Walk it off.
Uh-oh.
Like
Well,
Coach
3
would
of
say,
us
walk
are
it
going
off.
to be there for Geek-O-Ween.
Yeah. Well, John will be there in ghost form. He's really committing to the part.
Anything for the show.
Exactly. So we've got some cool stuff. I'll list off one. Let's all just kind of bounce some stuff off we're talking about. We've got gross toys of the 80s. We're doing another Totally 19XX about some of your favorite gross toys. Everything from slime to boglins to
Slime.
more slime, Garbage Pail Kids.
And
we've got
slime.
a special
And these
highlight.
guys-
Mad Balls.
Mad
And we're
Balls,
talking
Mad
about
Balls,
a few
Mad
cool
Balls.
things. we've got that filmed and up to go. You might see Elvira make an appearance during one of our 19XXs. What else do we got? Tell them.
We are going to be having. Well, there was a certain film made in Corsicana.
That's right.
80s?
Go on.
80s, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
That my sister made. My sister was in, and my mother's blue Mercedes was in.
You sound more excited about your mother's blue Mercedes than your sister being in it.
Yeah, my sister's in it.
Yeah, my sister's in it.
Yes, she did. But my car, man.
Yeah.
No, that's yes.
Yeah, so we're talking about Corsicana, creepy, horror, spooky past. So that's gonna be fun and exciting. Fun little dip down memory.
Yep. Let's see what else. I think well, on our website we're going to have a top 5, bottom 5 of our favorite, and which is our top 5. And then the bottom 5 is our not so favorite Halloween candy. So you'll definitely have to go to our website and check that out, which we have a ton of content on.
Oh, yes. And we've got a month-long running special as well. You want to tell them on that, Kaiser?
A month-long running special?
Yes.
Exactly.
Like every day something's going to happen?
Every day except for October 32nd, because that doesn't exist.
Wow.
What about October 0?
That's when you start getting into prequel territory, when we have to reboot October.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll reboot that in a few years, so we don't have to worry about that now. But every day
we're legacy rebirth.
We're just putting together just a list of, it's movies and games and memories and just things TV shows, things that Halloween is just kind of impacted upon us over the years. So every day we're just going to share just some cool little snippet, and for the 31 days of Geek-O-Ween. And that's on top of all the other great content we're going to bring you. We're going to bring you more reviews of movies and TV shows and comics. You're going to see more videos. I mean, you're not going to be able to get us away from us. Everywhere you go, we will be right there.
That's right. And
you're going to be ill.
That's right. And all our articles on the Corsicana Daily Sun. That's in every Friday's issue.
Yeah.
For all of October, it will be Geek-O-Ween related.
Yeah.
So lots of fun, exciting stuff there.
Did anybody tell them that, or are they just going to find out as we deliver it?
Surprise! That's the spirit of Halloween, yo.
Exactly.
And I do have to say, candy corn is the worst candy of all.
Oh no!
I like candy corn.
Hey, it's on my bottom 5.
I'm not talk anymore.
Whatever. It's those horrifying orange and black things.
The guy who put sugar in water, not the guy, but the gentleman whose box is above me, who loves just sugar, who loves it so much will put sugar in water just so that it's more sugary. How can he not like candy corn? It's just little corn-shaped sugar.
No, it's a weird squishy, and I do not like the colors white, brown, and orange next to each other.
Do you hate the little pumpkins as well? Because you can't.
Yeah.
Dude, those...
I don't like. No. I don't like orange and brown things next to each other, to be honest.
Yeah, Jamie agrees with you on the candy corn thing. It's taking up his entire bottom 5 list.
Man.
Yeah.
All there.
Well, if you don't like orange and brown things next to each other, just the entire fall season just must wreak havoc on your senses.
Be a personal hell.
Yeah, he walks around and is just always separating leaves from acorns.
They can't mix.
Can't have that. Can't have that.
They must never meet.
No.
Taking all the pumpkins out of the dead leaves and off of the bales of hay.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. That was our live show for September. We have come to you live. None of that Weekend at Bernie stuff where we're faking it. No, we're here presently live and happening right now. So this is, again, our live show for September, and we are the Total Geek live team. So thank you so much for coming out and visiting us tonight. And if you didn't get a chance to watch it, then obviously you're watching it later. That's how it works.
Exactly.
But otherwise, it is all geek to us.
And
thanks, guys.
Right before we go, Shanoa wishes.
There's more.
Shanoa wishes Guy an early happy birthday.
Aw.
That's right.
Aw.
Guy's birthday is on the 29th, and
Yes,
so
that was me.
Jamie is wishing you a happy early birthday too.
Well,
So-
thank you,
So-
Noah and Jamie. I appreciate that.
You could send all gifts to our P.O. box. If but
If you
seriously,
send Toys R Us gift cards, do it fast. Do it real fast.
But yes, this has been another great. I'm sorry I had to interrupt your wonderful closing there, but I just had to share the birthday.
Well,
wishes
thank you,
with
everyone. I appreciate the well wishing.
And so, I mean, that's it. We're this
So guys,
one more
It's
in the
still
bag.
geek to us. It's still geek to us. 2 minutes later, it's still geek to us. That's how dedicated we are to the cause.
it's all geek to us.
I feel like we should have really worked on a choreography, but we'll get there. It's good. It's good.
All right, I am ending the stream.